just got out of the shower and I'm watching a video that one of you guys tweeted at me. It's a lecture about depression from Dr. Michael Yapko in Australia. He gave a really good lecture and I really appreciate you for sending it to me. It's really long, it's like over an hour, so I'm still watching. But I just wanted to check in and first of all, thank you so much for sharing that link. And one thing, he basically describes a whole bunch of things of why people are depressed and, how to get out of it. What depression is. Depression is not, it's not a chemical imbalance or whatever, it might be a predisposition, but ultimately it's actually a way of thinking and like a system of thinking that usually like you are influenced by your parents, like the way you think. That's basically going to determine whether or not you're going to be depressed. And he mentions this term that I really feel like applies to me actually. He mentions this term called cognitive rigidity, and it's like when you decide that something is true in your mind, like you think something, and then you believe it like it's like the reality. So instead of relying on your senses that are constantly absorbing things from around you, like instead of relying on your you see the door in front of you, you see this, and I'm looking in the door, but like you see different things and then you rely on your senses to like for what reality is. You rely on your surroundings once, but then you get inside your head. So instead of relying on your external senses that are like what is happening around you, you start to rely on like the stuff inside your mind to decide what reality is. So your reality becomes stuff that your mind tells you is real instead of what your surroundings are. So that happens when there's like a lot of overthinking and like rumination and like stuff like that. Very, very much a thing with me. Like I'm a huge overthinker. I think I'm really over analyzing everything, overthinking everything. And so the problem with overthinking is that like you end up, especially if you don't allow yourself to be fluid with your thinking and open to new ideas, being open to new ideas is not only important for getting along with people, it's also important for like being able to, for mindfulness and being able to like be at one with your surroundings, because your surroundings are completely going to keep changing. So if you're holding on to that one thought in your brain being real no matter what, like whatever I'm thinking right now, whatever I believe to be true has to be true no matter what. And then you end up like in a situation where whatever you're thinking is not true, then you become really isolated because what you're thinking in your mind is not matching with reality. So you become more and more and more stuck inside your mind. And I don't know if I'm even making sense, but I still have to finish the video. But it's good. It's a really good, I'm going to include it in the link in this video, hopefully, if I remember when I'm editing. But I really highly recommend everybody watch it. And another thing I'm thinking about is like I really want to get to the bottom of this depression thing, because I know that I have it in me and there's many times that I've been completely fine. I know that I have it in me to be completely fine. And I really want to analyze like what it is that lets me be that way completely fine, and basically what's the formula to like resetting yourself. Like how could you, like, what the tools are, like let's say you find out exactly what are the tools to get out of depression, what are the tools, but like how do you put it all together? And like I really want to do that. I really want to put it all together, create like a formula that other people can use, I can use for myself, that I can refer to. Because another thing is like when you're tired, and that's why a lot of times when you're tired or like hungry or, other distracted in other ways, unorganized in your thinking, you forget like what, you kind of forget what you set out to do, and then you resort to like unhelpful thinking. Like the cognitive rigidity or the rumination that he was mentioning, like when you don't have like a blueprint for thinking in front of you, that is internalized in your mind, or at least written down in front of you, you resort to like unorganized thinking that might reflect actually what you grew up with. And if what you grew up with was a depressed parent, you are, what he says, 3 to 6 times more likely to be depressed yourself, and it gets worse with every generation. So like if you're depressed, your kids will be even more depressed, and your grandkids will be even more depressed. So you don't want to resort to your default state of thinking, because that is going to be whatever you got from your parents. And if your parents were depressed, it's going to be an even more depressed mental state. So you want to have a blueprint in front of you. And that's something that I know to be true for me, because, you know, I know a lot of depressed people. You know, I've seen what religion has done for people. A lot of depressed people, when they enter religion, they stop being depressed, because religion is the blueprint that kind of allows them to reset their way of thinking to whatever, you know, to not rely on their default, you know, inside their mind, but more what, you know, to constantly be resetting it to whatever the formula is. So a formula, like a blueprint for thinking, is really important. And that's what I want to make. You know what I mean? Like, these videos are a way for you to feel and know that you're not alone, you're not crazy, because there's a crazy girl on YouTube called Pardis, and she's with you. But even more than that is I want to create a blueprint for myself. Something that I can like refer to, and something that other people can refer to. So anyway, I'm gonna work on that, and I really want to hear your reactions and your advice, because your feedback, your tweets, your comments on this video, like, it makes a huge difference. I read it and like I learn so much from it, and also it really helps me, like it really snaps me out of my own brain. Like that video that you sent me, I forgot who sent me the video. I have to go back. I think it was Paul Nye, but I'm not sure. But that really snapped me out of it. Like, I had this thing in my head going about like this thing I was upset at, this thing I was upset at, whatever, and like that video like snapped me out of it. It was perfect. And so I really appreciate you guys for doing that. And I want to see your videos. You know, like, some of you are actually creating content, which is so awesome, and I like, please share it here. Just to correct myself, the video was sent by Jay Long. So thank you, Jay Long. I really appreciate you. And yeah, I hope that, like, just as therapeutic as these videos are for me, they are for you. And I hope that whatever I'm able to create for myself is going to be helpful for other people too. And because that actually makes me feel a lot better too, because it makes me feel like I'm adding value. Anyway, see you all later. Have a good night. I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm so comfortable, and I really hope tonight, finally, I'll be able to like not have any bad dreams, because I've been having bad dreams every night. Like, hopefully tonight I'll be able to have a full night's sleep, and that will be so nice.